Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is finally here, and thanks to Bethesda and MachineGames, I've been able to play the game very early and for a while. So, to help those who are just jumping into this amazing journey as the iconic Indiana Jones, here are 10 early game tips when starting Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Yo, this is your boy James over XpectoGO, bringing you guys the latest and greatest in fun and positive gaming content. Before you don the fedora as Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, my first tip for you guys is to set your settings. Yes, this seems like an obvious tip, but so many like myself have been waiting for this game and dive right in before touching the settings, which will be a mistake. Because in settings, you can set difficulty, immersion, and switch outfits or whips if you own any of the above standard editions of the game. The 3 possible outfits allow you to have all of your cinematic cutscenes with Indy rocking the outfit you picked. Me personally, I've been using the professor's suit in all of my gameplay so far. Remember, you only get one first impression, and taking time out to go through the settings to not only pick your outfits or whip, but also pick your technical gameplay settings will enhance your gameplay experience. And Bethesda and MachineGames seem to agree. They posted before the early access launch a full accessibility guide for the game, so I'll be sure to have that linked in the description below. That being said, I do have 3 specific settings I'd encourage you to try out. The settings for chromatic aberration, film grain, and even motion blur. Try turning those off. To me, the game looks already gorgeous, but it will look even better when these settings are applied. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle rewards exploration and curiosity in a literal sense. When focusing on the main story, you'll always see a yellow icon pointing you to where you need to go. But if you hold off on following the yellow icon and start exploring your gorgeous surroundings, you'll be rewarded with a plethora of things. Gold, for example, found or stolen early in the game is very valuable because you need it to buy the camera feature early on. Another reason to explore are the keys, maps, and clues you can come across just by exploring a nearby building or tent, all of which will help your progress in the main storyline. One of my favorite reasons to explore is the abilities found off the beaten path. Instead of a skill tree in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, you'll find books that upgrade your combat skills to a certain level using the adventure points you gained just by exploring, whether it's taking pictures, discovering secrets, or finding items. Books like Punch Out, for example, restores your stamina after knocking out an enemy. Looking around also helps due to you finding alternate and primary routes to help you get to the next objective or checkpoint when avoiding enemies. So many times I found myself looking around and forgetting to look up, allowing me to use my whip to explore a brand new area I didn't know I could explore. So please, keep your eyes peeled when playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. You will be highly rewarded when doing so. Now, whilst on your journey, you'll be able to pick up a ton of things, as mentioned before. Keys, maps, books for upgrades, but more often you'll be picking up objects that can be a wide variety, from a shovel to even a bottle used to distract and even knock out enemies. With each object you grab that can be used as a weapon specifically, you'll see on the bottom right of your UI 1 to 6 dots. Those dots represent their usage number. This is how many times you can use said object before it breaks and is unusable. Each object will have this meter, so pay attention to your object usage meter, especially when engaged with multiple enemies on your journey. You don't want to have it break before you engage with a beefier enemy specifically, or even you don't want it to break before you have to go against 2 or more enemies that are suddenly surrounding you. When figuring out which items you're able to interact with and which items you aren't, there will be prompts that come up describing specific items, but for objects that can be used as weapons, like previously discussed, pay attention specifically to your right arm. Usually at your side in first-person perspectives, it will slowly rise up, opening your right hand when you're in proximity of something you can pick up. Whether it's bandages, maps, coins, or more importantly, weapons again, this subtle gameplay mechanic helps you as Indy continue this awesome immersion and enhance your exploration, making sure you don't miss a thing during your journey off the beaten path. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has a clean UI to help with immersion, which keeps it simple while playing the game. This simplicity is also applied to the indicators that can be seen around you. Understanding these indicators will come in clutch while progressing in your adventure. Yellow bullseyes, for example, indicate the direction for your current objective, with the yellow diamond indicating the final step of that objective or location. Environmental indicators will also have bullseyes but will look white from a distance, letting you know you can interact with it. Changing to a specific prompt like X or even the right bumper, which indicates whip usage. NPCs that are friendly will have a blue glow around their heads. NPCs that are enemies will have an orange glow around their heads, turning red once you've been spotted in their line of sight. Get ready to throw hands, though, when this happens upon seeing you. But if you're able to knock them out, you'll see a white glow around their heads, which means you've taken them out and you don't have to worry about any interactions with said NPC. There's even indicators or pop-ups for the camera feature, unlocked once you progress in the story that has you in the Vatican talking with Antonio. The camera indicator pops up on the upper left side of your UI, letting you know your near location that can be photographed. Now, I do wish I was able to use the camera anytime I wanted, but what this does is allow you opportunities once taking photos to get clues for quests, adventure points, and upgrades. Like I said, when exploring, keep your eyes open. Bethesda and MachineGames have developed not only a gorgeous, but highly interactable environments that has plenty of secrets to uncover. Please, keep your eyes peeled. You won't be disappointed. In the gray circle, combat is like the UI, simple but effective, with right and left triggers allowing you to punch your way through enemies in stealth or combat, and even charging your punches for a more powerful hit. But I encourage you to focus on your counter timing using the left bumper. Waiting on the enemy to punch can take time, but saves you in stamina and gives you a huge counterpunch if timed correctly. And once landed, it's surprisingly rewarding, with sometimes cueing Indy to share a quip or two. You can even do this with objects or against multiple enemies. So remember, patience is probably the best defense. If patience is the best defense, then throwing possibly is the best offense. Well, probably not the best offense, but certainly is a lot of fun in combat. Throwing objects is so enjoyable, especially upon seeing the NPC's reactions. So seriously, please try this tip. You'll be smiling from ear to ear once you do so. Also remember, your whip is your best friend. Using the right bumper, you can summon your whip to help in a variety of situations, mostly boiling down to traversal and combat. Look up and around for opportunities to use your whip, helping you reach the high ground, as Obi-Wan Kenobi would say, as you traverse a dense population of enemies, often indicated with the white bullseye as mentioned earlier, or even using the naked eye once you get close enough. Indiana Jones in the Gray Circle, even though it's not truly open world, does a great job opening up the level design so you have multiple ways of reaching an objective, with the whip being one of, in my opinion, the best ways to do so, especially for traversal. The whip is also your best friend in combat, allowing you to disarm enemies, keep them at a distance, and even stun them when engaged with multiple foes, giving you an opening to land a charged attack or combo with your fist/weapon. Just be aware, once enemies are close though, your whip is incapacitated. The last and certainly not least tip for you guys is the tool wheel, which you can access with the directional pad or D-pad on the left side of your controller. Hitting to the left allows you to access your pistol or whatever weapon you have currently. Hitting up allows you to access your camera. Hitting to the right allows you to access to a myriad of items that you will own during your journey. Disguises, keys, books, so forth and so on. But the most specific one, especially when it comes to combat, is the down direction on the D-pad, which allows you to access your med kit, food, specifically your med kit, which allows you to heal up, is like a potion for you, and the bread, which also helps you heal but gives you an extra bar around the main bar for healing. This gives you a buffer when engaged with combat with multiple enemies. Fruit does the same thing, but with stamina instead of health. So try out the different types of fruits and foods found in the game, again, once you keep exploring, because again, you will be rewarded when you do so, and they come in clutch when swimming, climbing, and again in combat, because you never know the type of situation you might run into when playing Indiana Jones in the Great Circle. That being said, from setting your settings to countering punches, I hope these 10 beginners tips that I'd encourage you to try help enhance your overall gaming experience while playing Indiana Jones in the Great Circle. If you have any other tips or tricks that you would like to share with your Fedora rocking community, be sure to comment below with your tips and tricks. And if we have enough, I may turn into a video so we can share as a community. I'm so looking forward to hearing from you and sharing my journey through the game. So be sure to check out our playthrough on the channel by subscribing and hitting the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching this video and others like it, and even hanging out with your boy. And a special thank you to the Patronus Squad for making videos like this possible every day. I have been James over at XpectoGO, bringing you guys the latest and greatest and fun and positive gaming content. I'll see you guys around the globe. Until next time.